Lord, you said that afterwards we shall be going to Endor. Make me happy too, that I may get over the bitterness of that boy's judgment, says the Iscariot. Oh, are you still thinking about that? Asks Jesus. Yes, always. I feel degraded in your eyes and in the eyes of my companions. I think of what your thoughts. Why do you fret over trifles? I was not thinking of that trifle any longer. Neither were the others. You are reminding us. You are a child accustomed only to being caressed, and the word of a little boy seems the sentence of a judge to you. But you must not be afraid of that word, but of your actions and of God's judgment. But to convince you that you are as dear to me as previously, as always, I tell you that I will satisfy you. What do you wish to see at Endor? It is a poor village among the rocks. Before Jesus responds, I shall just pause there because you perhaps won't know what Judas is talking about. There was a scene where Jesus had stopped and he was amongst some people and the apostles were sitting down and a little boy was there, and the boy is speaking to Jesus and the apostles, and he makes a judgment of each of the apostles. He obviously says he loves Jesus, and he looks at each apostle and he says, you're good, you're good, you're good. But with Judas, he says something like, you're bad. I don't quite remember. He says something like, you're bad, I don't like you. And Judas's face goes red because all the other apostles are laughing at this. They don't know what we know, that boy's soul picked up something about Jesus, about Judas, I should say. He picked something up, just as he picked something up about Jesus and the other apostles, but specifically about Judas Iscariot. And Judas didn't realise that. He doesn't realise at that point that there's something fundamentally wrong with him. And Jesus masks that from the other apostles. But Judas feels totally embarrassed, and he's remembered it all the way to this moment. But Judas Iscariot's desire to go to Endor, in the end, is providential. If we stand above the whole of the poem of the man God, if we could do that and we see the providence of God all the time. Jesus himself speaks of the providence of the Father, which guides him to this place or that place. But I shall continue this narrative. Oh yes, and in case you wonder what am I talking about, the providence of God in this specific case, because taking them to Endor, they meet a man called Felix, who has his name changed to John. He's known as John of Endor. We never encounter him in the New Testament. The closest we come to encountering him is the reference by St. Paul in one of his letters to an argument between a woman called Syntyche and I think another one called Eudoxia. Syntyche is in the poem of the man God, and she goes with John of Endor, who eventually becomes very ill, to I think Antioch, and there they evangelize, and that's where John of Endor dies, but he becomes very close to Jesus and Jesus becomes close to him. He's a learned man in a similar way to the way that Lazarus is a learned man, and Jesus seems to have a special bond with good learned men like Lazarus and John of Endor. He's able to talk to them in ways he can't talk to simpler people. And it seems to me to be good for Jesus' spirit that he can do that. So that's John of Endor, known only in an indirect way via Syntyche in the New Testament. Syntyche, by the way, is a Greek slave girl who manages to escape and is taken into the apostolic group, or the wider group of the holy women, and is a character in herself, a very, very interesting Greek woman. So, we resume. Jesus was asking Judas Iscariot why he wants to go to Endor. It's a poor village among the rocks, says Jesus. Take me there, and I will tell you. All right, but mind it does not cause you to suffer afterwards. If it cannot be painful for him to contemplate the sea, it cannot be harmful to me to see Endor. To see? But it is the desire of what one seeks to see in looking that can be harmful. But we shall go. And they resumed the road towards Mount Tabor, the huge mass of which appears to be nearer and nearer, while the marshy aspect of the ground changes as the soil becomes solid and dry and the vegetation thinner, making room for taller plants and bushes of clematis and blackberries, the new leaves and early flowers of which are a pleasant sight.